Hello and welcome back to another Rickulus video. My name is Mr. Rickulus, and this is an episode that's going to be really weird because the first part of this video did not get there was an issue with something and the audio just screwed up. So yeah, this first part does have some important features like the extra furnace generator right there. It explains some things I tidied up around the base and did some cool things. So yeah, but the problem is the audio path for the uh, mic didn't come through on this episode, so I'm going to narrate it afterwards, as I am doing now. But the audio and this other cuts that I made some cuts in this episode, and the cuts come out fine with the audio, so that's, whatever. Looks like my mic is being weird. Anyway, so yeah, that being said, I guess we'll just get on with the video here and try to go through everything. The mic's being a little weird, hold on. Anyway, so, yeah. This is a strip mine I built, little hut for it, and I've been mining up stuff, and right now I'm going to go down and show you the diamonds, the first diamonds that I'll mine on camera, because I think it's nice to mine the first diamonds on camera. So, that's the plan. It's really hard to narrate after you've done the video, because like narrating the video afterward is so annoying, because it's like, yeah, you can see what you're doing, but you're not in the I think it's the worst way to put it, in the zone, you know? You're not really feeling it, so, whatever. It's gonna be really nice when I get a jetpack to get up these ladders, because man, are this ladder, man, it's just such a pain to get up the ladder. But all in due time, I'll get a jetpack eventually. Probably in episode 6, I'll be making jetpacks. Maybe episode 7. I don't know. I'm not for sure on that. What am I doing right now? Oh, I'm explaining the fact that I have a bed in my house and I didn't actually shear any sheep. There's a little house out there. It'll be on the center, like right now it's on the center of the screenish, and it'll take me a little bit to figure it out, but basically I went to that house and there are these little houses that are added by I think the Ruins mod. It's a little house with a little mining pit dug out on the side, and there's a bed and a chest with some loot. And so the loot was a steel pickaxe, a steel axe, some coal coke, and I think a little bit of something else. So I took the chest and I also took the bed so that I could have a bed without having to shear sheep. So yeah, that was kind of cool. Grab some apples. It's hard to put myself in my own shoes at this point. Oh no, Dominic. Forgot to grab Dominic. I remember this part actually. I was just sitting there freaking out about Dominic. I don't know if people are going to complain about it in the comments. This is all being recorded in around the same session, except this audio, obviously. But I don't know if people are going to be mad that I cheated in the stuff to get like I tamed Dominic, and then I cheated in a saddle, a lead, and a name tag so that I could name him Dominic. So yeah. Anyway, oh yes, in this episode I have Paxels. I've made Paxels. I'm going to try to run through in this. As I'm explaining here, I'm going to try to wear out the axe and the pickaxe before I make the Paxel, because I can't put them to use in a Paxel because you have to use the mechanism tools to make the steel Paxel. And those require iron as the rod, or as the handle, and steel for the head. So, whereas the Railcraft ones just require steel for the head and sticks for the handles. And it's not integrated in this pack to have them equate, which makes sense because the mechanism tools, steel tools, are a little bit more expensive. So I see it. It makes sense to me. So what I'm doing this episode, I believe I get into Tinker Tools. The problem is I don't have a checklist or a clipboard, so I can't really I'm talking about the wind turbine for some reason. Anyway, that's what I get into next episode. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Just sitting there thumbing through chess. Alright, right now I'm making a tool forge, which is, of course, part of Tinker's Construct, and it helps you make advanced tools. Not that you can make the components for the tools with the part builder, but you need the tool forge to make the tools because it has 4 slots that can fit. Now, the one thing that I forgot in this episode was to actually go and get grout. I didn't get sand, clay, and gravel to go get grout, so I have to go do that this episode. So, yeah. I guess I was showing off the focus search bar there. Yeah, I was. Am I hitting my mic or something? No, now I did, but... This is where I realized that I have a farm. And I remember the farm that I decided to never go back and use. And I swear, I used it like twice, of course. I'll get into making a really cool farm later on, but in a little bit I'll remember that I didn't have oh, I'm showing off the packs right now. Anyway, I'll remember that I had the farm and I'll talk about how I'm going to make a new one, but, you know, I get sidetracked a bit. I got sidetracked by the fact that the Paxel digs super fast, so I went to show off that it works really fast as a shovel, really fast as an axe, and really fast as a pickaxe. Now I'm gonna have obsidian later in the episode because I make an alumite tool, and right now I'm just explaining how Tinker's Construct doesn't recognize that as a shovel. But I make alumite tools later, or an alumite tool, and so I end up with obsidian, but I don't believe I explain how I get the obsidian. And the way I got the obsidian was just simple enough. I just went and I grabbed that little volcano that was out there earlier, or that I just went and mined at, that little tiny volcano that I think's added by the runes mod. I went out there and I used a water bucket and I turned the lava that was inside of it into obsidian, and I got a decent amount of obsidian. And so I used that and I smelted it into what I'll be using later for alumite. If you don't know what that is, I do get to it later in this episode, and I think I get to it during another cut. So that means, you know, during a cut, so the audio will come through and I'll be able to explain it as I'm going. This episode is just, honestly, I can't put it any other way, it's a total shit show. Because, I wasn't as prepared for this episode as I planned to be. And I was nowhere near prepared enough to do all the things that I wanted to do this episode. And so, it was really sloppily put together, and then the fact that the audio didn't come through in this, or the mic didn't come through in this, just doesn't help the case, because now I have to narrate it after the fact, and it's just even sloppier. So I do apologize. Episodes later on will be a lot better and a lot better put together, so probably no better of an editing quality, but at least a bit better put together. Here I recognize the farm that I never once used. So now I've grabbed a Coke, and I am continuing to dig out this stuff. It's really weird narrating this while I'm, like, I know I made it a point a bit earlier, but watching myself play and questioning, because I know I could do all of this way more efficiently if I weren't dawdling, but a lot of this is dawdling. And I really should have set this episode up a lot better. I should have set it up a lot. You know, I should have had some setup before and stuff, but it just didn't. It comes out to be just a total shit show of an episode. That's just not good. Copyright claims, copyright claims. So I got copyright claimed a little while, like a year ago, on that really terrible video I have of the arcade rap, shitty video I made when I was younger. But the point is, I got copyright claimed for it because of the fact that what happened was, for a while, YouTube has this royalty-free music in their editing studio that you can use and add to your video to add some flair to it. I tried to add music to my video, and what happened is I used their royalty-free music, but the problem is, about a month afterward, their royalty-free music became no longer royalty-free. I don't know how that happened, but they either lost the rights to it or something happened, but they don't have the they don't have the they lost the rights to it or something, so it's no longer royalty-free music. So I got a copyright claim. And now I can't monetize that video anymore, which is my most viewed video. Not that it's highly viewed or anything. It wouldn't be making me serious dollars, but I mean, seriously. My only really big video so far, and it has all its stuff is locked because it doesn't even have the music on there anymore, but because of that royalty changing, switching hands or whatever, now it's just screwed. So, yeah. I don't know what the deal is with that. It's really retarded. Excuse me. Now I've got the Groutus melting. I'm looking for recipes to use the steel for, I guess. I'm not entirely certain of why. But, in the next episode I will put steel to serious use and I get into some good mechanism crafting. Upgrading the base a bit and doing stuff like that. Episode 4 and 5 are going to seem, like, to me, the way I'm looking at them, the way I record them and such, they feel like filler, honestly. Which is a weird thing to say about a YouTube series, a Minecraft series, but it really does feel like filler. Now, episode 5 is a little bit more concise and well put together because of the fact that I do have I'm making a clipboard from Bibliocraft, and I'm keeping myself on track with that clipboard. I'm making sure, stay on track. I made a checklist for myself to everything I need to do that video, just so that I don't get off track like I normally do and it screws up the whole thing. That was a good idea, and oh, I just hit the mic. Anyway, that was a good idea, but the problem is, it still feels like filler. And really, most of this is going to feel like filler until I get into the real heart, because basically I'm doing a startup. I'm not going to start in on anything huge until I have a nice base, really a well-established set of resource collection and gathering and everything to actually get into big stuff. This really isn't big stuff. This is just making some advanced tinker tools. Oh, now I have a tool forge. Anyway, so, this feels really like filler, but, that's just my thoughts. I don't know about your guys'. Episode 6 is going to be a lot better. Not that episode 5. Episode 5 is good. Episode 5 it's just episode 4 has me in, like, a kind of, not a slump, but kind of just it's a real nuisance, episode 4, in my mind. It's so aggravating. So absolutely aggravating. Just because of the fact that I sucked so poor. I mean, when you feel bad about something, it doesn't matter if it comes out good, because really, it's not going to come out too terribly in the end, but it's one of those things that, like, if you're baking a cake, and, and then that cake, it may be the best tasting cake ever, but if, like, say, in the middle of making your cake, spiders came blasting out of it, spiders just came and exploded out of it and ran at you and blah, 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 blah. You fix it, you make the cake better, and you go back and you fix the cake, and you make it a really great cake, and you serve it, and it's just a fantastic tasting cake. No matter how good that cake was, even if it's 100% better than what it ever would have been, it's still not as good in your mind because of the fact that those spiders popped out of it earlier. It really messes you up. You know? That was a labored metaphor. Very labored metaphor, but, you know. The point is, I don't feel very good about this episode, so even if it does come out fine, it just doesn't feel good to me. I know it's kind of weird, you know, it's weird not having faith in your own video, but it's not that I don't have faith in it. It's just that I don't feel it was up to what I could have made it be. It wasn't the best that it could have been, and that pisses me off. Drinking some Coke. By far the best drink choice for any human being ever. Well, unless you're trying to be healthy, but, you know, whatever. We're rapidly approaching the point where the cut is going to happen, because I'm trying to build a smeltery, and I did not have everything prepared correctly, and it takes forever for this stuff to process and smelt away. So, what's going to happen is this is going to be the first ever in the series, I believe. And let me... I believe this is going to be the... Oh, dear. What's going on with this? Did the video stop? What the... This bit of narration is a little screwed up. I'm going to make the first cut of the series right now, so I'll be back in a bit and fixing stuff. Well, this whole episode appears to be like it's going to be a bunch of terrible, 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 terrible cuts. The sad news is that I have to add narration after the fact for every part of this because the audio path isn't coming through. I know, I think I've figured out the issue at this point, but yeah, I thought the audio would be fine. It looked like it was working fine, but it's not, so pretty sure I know what the issue is though, so I'll fix it definitely for the next episode. I'm sorry about this. This episode is gonna be the worst of the series. Just a series of unfortunately bad cuts. That's all this episode is. So I'm off. I've made most of the parts to the smeltery that I need. However, you'll soon find an issue, or there'll soon be an issue in this video later on, other than the current issues. Anyway, so I've taken a seared tank, and the way it works is you take the seared tank can work. It stores the liquids when it's picked up. It stores the liquids that it has while it's picked up, so it works as a pretty cheap and easy portable tank. Pretty primitive, not that, it only holds 4 buckets, but it works. It's cheap, it's easy, and it's needed for a smeltery. So, you know, I'm just sitting here collecting lava so that I can actually use the smeltery. And, yeah. So that's all I'm doing. In the next episode, I'm going to make a far superior portable tank. Because the portable tank, it's nice that the Tinker's Construct tank works as a portable tank, but I'll be making one soon that is just a far, far superior. It can hold 14 buckets, it can do just amazing things, so yeah, we'll get to that in the next episode. However, this episode, we have to get through this shit show to deal with, you know, the good stuff. We have to get through this shit show to deal with the good stuff, sadly. But that's okay. We'll get through it together. I swear upon it. So, yeah, this is probably going to be the low point of this series. Still not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure as to why it's going the way it is, but I'm sure I'll figure it out by the time I'm editing the next video, which will be within the next 10-ish, 14-ish minutes. Anyway. So yeah. I'm digging Sphax. I wouldn't normally use Sphax, because the thing is, I love Sphax. It's a beautiful texture pack, but the problem with it is that everybody uses it because it's so beautiful. So, yeah. That's the only point I want to make on that. Anyway, so I'm building the smeltery now, and this is an invalid structure as, this is the point. It's an invalid structure because it's not completely built, and I'm realizing at this point that I have totally screwed the pooch again, and I'm going to have to make another cut because of the fact that I didn't make the seared drains, the smeltery drains that I was planning on making. So yeah, not good at all. So yeah, I'm gonna make one more cut here in a bit so that you guys don't have to deal with me going through the processing system. I'm just sitting here mining up the pieces I need for the rest of the grout that I'm gonna need. And oh god, I felt just so stupid doing this, and right now I feel stupid because of a different reason, the editing issue. But yeah, I just felt so stupid. So anyway, I'll see you guys in a little bit with the rest of the grout and the seared drains that I need, smeltery drains that I need, and I'm gonna kill this slime. So adios. All right, and we're back with more of the. I've got the seared the smeltery drains. I have those all sorted out, so now I'm gonna finish up building this smeltery and get on with making the better parts of this episode. Making the tinker tools. Now, at this point, I'm only going to build 2 tools. The first one being the first one I'm going to make is a sword. I need a nice replacement for this quartz sword because it'll break eventually, and it only does iron sword level damage and doesn't have that much durability. So I'm going to replace it with an alumite sword. So for that I need 2 obsidian, 2 iron, and 5 aluminum. Since I need casts as well, I figure I'll smelt up some gold in here and get it going. And not all of it will fit because it's not a very large smeltery, but it'll work for now. I'll just wait for that all to smelt up. While that's going on, I have a stone handguard and a stick as the handle for the sword that I'm going to use so that it'll get stone bound, which will make it lose a bit of damage. However, it's it's a cheap material and it's not going to make too much of a difference. That ratioing that they have in the alloying is by millibucket, and of course if you ratio that out, it's 5 to 2 to 2, as in 5 aluminum, 2 obsidian, and 2 iron. So I'm going to click whichever one that is on the bottom is what's going to come out of the drain. So I'm going to click the gold to be on the bottom. There we go, we have some alumite, but now we need the aluminum to smelt, and quickly I'm going to click gold to the bottom, and then I'm going to drain it out to make a cast here. And now I have a sword blade cast. And the alumite is going to smelt up. I'm going to put alumite to the bottom, and I'm going to wait for that aluminum. And then what's going to happen is all of that is going to it's cluttering right now. It looks kind of gross down there, but as soon as that aluminum smelts up, it's all going to turn into alumite, and then there will be some gold left. And here we go. 6 alumite and 4 gold. So now I just drain to make an alumite sword blade. And now I'm going to grab just 1 ingot. Any ingot will do, really. I'll just grab an iron ingot and go put that there, because what I'm going to do with the gold is I'm going to make another cast. But this one's a very good cast. And this is click the gold, and I'm going to make an ingot cast. Now an ingot cast is great because it'll let you pour out stuff ingot by ingot by ingot and get it out of the smeltery. The thing is, you can use those casting basins down there on the other side, but that is for getting it out block by block, which is 9 ingots per. So if you have any less than 9 ingots, all that's going to happen is you're going to have just a non-emptied you're just going to have it sitting in the casting basin, which I don't think is as useful because you can't do anything with it. So you just have to wait to fill that casting basin up with the same material. So I'd rather have an ingot cast so I can get it all out and empty out the smeltery whenever I need to. So now that that's done, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together our alumite longsword. Now a lot of people would say to make a rapier, but I'm going to make a longsword. Alumite sword blade, a stick, and a handguard made of stone, and it will give me an alumite longsword. It has 875 durability, which is more than iron, less than diamond, but not as expensive as diamond. It has modifiers as well, so I can utilize that, and it does +7 attack damage, of course, so diamond sword level. And what's more, it's reinforced, so it has a good bit of durability. And I can name it. I'll name it the I'm gonna name it the Quartz Killer, because you use quartz in Tinker's Construct, and if you add quartz as a modifier to your material or to your weapon or tool, it will give it sharpness. So let's just put this stuff away. No longer I'm retiring that sword. The forever now. And let me just put all this stuff away. There we go, we have an Alumite longsword. Now, most swords would block when you right-click, but this one has a special effect when you right-click where you can hold right-click and it'll launch you into further ahead, because the special ability of this is that it does more damage the faster you're going. It's a very offensive weapon. It wants you to charge in for battle. So you deal 7 damage with a normal hit. When you're sprinting, just base sprinting, you do extra damage. See there, it did 7 damage. Or 7-ish damage. Then that, I was jumping, so that was just a normal crit. But if you're sprinting and hitting, you do a whopping 8 damage. 8 or 9 damage. And then if you're sprinting, leaping, and doing all this, you get a super crit, which does well over 10 damage. So I think that's a great weapon. Great to have, great durability, great everything. And what's more, I can modify it later with some great things like putting lapis on it for looting, and putting quartz on it for sharpness, and maybe even moss for auto repair, which I'll get into maybe next episode, maybe not. We'll see. But, yeah. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some, I'll just grab the lapis now, and I'll get the looting put onto it real quick. Grab up all the lapis that I have. I think I just missed some. Well, whatever. I don't need to use all my lapis because lapis will be useful later. But you can put it on 1 by 1, 2 by 2, or you can put on lapis block by block. And considering you need 450 for the maximum looting effect, I'll go with block by block. And there you go. Block by block will add, you can do double block as well, so it adds 18 at a time. And now I need to get up to at least looting 1, which is going to take a bit. I think I need to get over 100 lapis on it to get looting 1. Nothing, and there we go, looting 1. Looting 1 is there. So I'll just put the rest of this, you know what, I can leave it. I can use lapis later. And yeah, so that is a looting 1 sword, which is really cheap because you don't have to enchant it. You don't have to use diamonds on an enchanting table, so that's cool. And then I think, yeah, I have time, so I might as well make the lumber axe as well. So, yeah, I'm gonna need to make another cast. I'm gonna need to make a broad axe cast and a large plate cast. And then I'll just use iron to make the, where's the iron? I'll use, Don't have that much iron. Thought I had more than that, though. Oh, there's 3, so that'll give us 9 iron, and then, yeah, oh, there's some more iron. So there we go. That'll go, oh wait, no. That won't smell, that'll only do, that's 3 times, it only, or doubles, so that will do, that'll give me 6 diamond. So, or 6 iron. So yeah, I need to make a large axe head cast and a large plate cast. So, let's go make those, let's go make some stone, parts, just for, and I'll make a wooden tough rod, and I'll have a stone binding just so that, I like getting stone bound on material, on certain, pieces. There we go, the broad axe head. Make that out of stone, and then make a tough binding out of stone, and make a tough tool rod out of wood. That'll give a nice handle modifier. Let me just check stone. Stone wouldn't be as good, because it has a worse handle modifier, so it won't be as good. And I'll already get the stone bound effect from the stone binding, so that'll be fine. So now I need to go put the large plate there, and the large axe head there, so that I can get some casts made of them. And yeah, let's get those going. So it'll take 2 ingots per cast, just in case I didn't make that clear last time. And yeah, oh dear, zombie got in. That means there's some blood in there. Let me just I gotta empty that blood out. Let me first get the, there we go. So we have our cast made now. Let's smelt up the iron. And while we're at it, we might as well get the blood out of there while we wait. Well, whatever. In due time. Let's sleep so that no more mobs get in, so that no more blood gets in the thing. I'm actually going to need one of those irons that I just put away, because I'm missing one, because that's not going to add up. Really need to get a sorting system set up. Eventually, when I have the big base, I'll have a really good sorting system, but I think I'll make a little one for in here a little later from now. Let's keep the blood at the bottom and just get that out of there. If you just drain it and then break it, it'll get rid of it. And since I don't need to use blood right now, I don't need to care. I made less iron than I was expecting to. So I guess, takes its time to fill up. And I have a lot less iron than I thought I would. I just didn't put enough in, you know. It's no big deal. I'll just use a stone large plate. That's no big deal. I already have one sitting around, so it's not a big deal. And then it's time to make our lumber axe. So let's click over to the lumber axe. There it goes. And put in the broad axe head, the wooden tough rod, the stone large plate, and the stone tough binding, and we get an iron lumber axe, which is a really great tool. It has pretty high durability, and obviously those 3 modifiers are good. And it has a stone bound bonus, so it's really good. I didn't name that, but it doesn't need to be named. Not everything needs to be named. Anyway, and again, with redstone, you can do it 1 by 1, 2 by 2, or block by block. And in fact, I think I'm going to do this block by block just to get it done quicker. Because with redstone, you want to get it up there fast as possible. Because redstone adds haste, which just makes you, dig or chop faster. Let's get those out of there and get it to its last little bit. 44, 46, 48, 50. There we go. And now it's got 1 level of haste, which is fine. That's all we need for now. And yeah, I'll just go show off what this thing can do. I have trees actually in the back of my house that I'm planted for the sole purpose of chopping down. So let's do this. And there it goes. A little lag, but there it is. So I can fell whole trees in a really easy, just one easy go, which is really nice. And it still uses up the durability, the full durability that would just chopping them block by block, but it's quicker than chopping it down, 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. So it's nice. This is going to seriously help with that with that furnace generator for the time that I'm using it. I'll just make a bunch of charcoal. But I plan on upgrading from that soon, but I might as well use it while I can, get a bunch of energy for ore processing. Anyway. So now I've got a really great axe, a really great sword. So yeah, this is a good wrapping up point for this episode. My name is Mr. Rickulus, and this has been another episode of Rickulus Survival. Thanks for watching.